Now, is console gaming really dying? Well, we all know about the classic console wars or the PC master race, but is console gaming actually dying? Well, we're going to find out, especially to do with the PS5. Now, we all know the PS5 is an amazing console that absolutely no one could get, and it released during one of the worst times for the world. Like, we had COVID, lockdowns, whatever, and it was ridiculously hard to get a PS5. And thankfully, I got my hands on one almost right at launch. And it took almost 3 years for the PS5 to be readily available. Whereas the Xbox, well, you could walk into a shop, pick it up, go to the counter and pay, and there you have it. You own the next gen console. It was really that easy for Xbox. And both consoles had their share of controversies during the time, but the biggest one for PlayStation was the fact there was a digital only release, meaning no more discs. Some people loved it, the fact it was cheaper, and the fact it just removed the need for you to actually have to go out and buy games. And some people just wanted to watch Sony burn because of it. But I'm unbiased. I mean, I own a disc version myself, so I have no opinion. But people forget the Xbox did it first with the Series S. So is console gaming actually dying? Well, the truth is yes and no. Now, hear me out. Yeah, it is dying. Like, with companies trying to remove physical media and making that chance of cheap secondhand games just vanish. You'll have to pay full retail price for the digital version of whatever game you want. So 4 years later, is the PS5 actually dead? Well, no. There's thousands of PS4 games compatible with the PS5, and the current PS5 games, there is just so much selection for you to get your grubby little hands on. But according to Sony, the PS5 is in its latter stage of life. With newer games slowing down, it's hard to say whether the PS5 is almost at its end. Considering the PS4 was released in 2013 and lived 7 years before the next generation of consoles, I'd say the statement is very premature, especially when people are still using the PS4 11 years after release. Now, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot, of misinformation online surrounding the console market, including the death of PlayStation, with reports like, will the PS5 be the last? And some of these reports come from reputable sources like CCM. Like, according to FT's report, Sony's head of games said the PS5 might be its last console. That's not saying it's definite, and that's where people are getting you. So let's discuss the next steps for what Sony could do. Well, everyone's saying cloud gaming, and it's looking very likely. This has been the biggest rumour I've seen regarding PlayStation, and according to Ezra, games will likely be played entirely online for the PS6, predicting a switch to online gaming. I think this is so if but a maybe. Now, there's been a lot of chatter on if Sony will actually make that full jump onto online cloud streaming. I mean, the PS5 already has it in-baked, given that you have PlayStation Plus Premium and fast enough Wi-Fi you can stream whatever game is on that library. But we've seen many companies try and fail at the exact same thing, like Google Stadia, Amazon Luna, and GeForce Now. Given GeForce Now is still up and it's running, but it has ridiculous queue times and a confusing subscription service, and also it needs lightning fast Wi-Fi. But what if Sony actually do transfer over to cloud gaming? Well, a few issues will arise. One, if Xbox don't follow the same path, it will boost Xbox sales dramatically and might cause the Xbox versus PlayStation war to finally end. Exclusive content will cease to exist. You can't provide console exclusive content if you don't have a console to run that same content. It's just ridiculous. And three, not everyone has good enough Wi-Fi to stream games. I mean, we already have the issue of online single player games. Always online is the worst feature to ever come out of gaming, in my opinion. So having a streaming service putting pressure on people's broadband will just kill PlayStation altogether. But we do need to understand why Sony might just do this. I mean, we saw huge delays and struggles regarding getting the PS5, and it does take a considerable amount of R&D to even make a concept console, and it takes huge amounts of resources to make a brand new console in of itself. And there's only so much performance increase before the tech simply tops out at the maximum. There's only so much you can improve. We've seen it over the last 5 years where technology is just, it's capping out at the best it can be. And it's looking like gaming consoles are going to finally reach their end. Personally, I don't think Sony will just cut the physical console outright, but I do think with AI becoming so big and physical media slowly phasing out, streaming services and always online might just become bigger and better and need less resources to actually run. I bet you're wondering, isn't the title console gaming not PlayStation? Yeah, you're absolutely right, but I haven't seen one rumour or speculation on Xbox. But if any company were to cut the console, Xbox would do it better. With Microsoft owning Windows OS and owning Xbox and already having PC able to play some Xbox games, they would just do it so much better than Sony. But with consoles removing the disk drive and streamlining their consoles, the cloud-only future seems like it will be the next big step. But truth be told, we're not going to understand or even know what Sony will do until they do it. And that's the only thing we know. So for now, we can just play what we play, grip onto our seats, and wait onto the next console. Until then, goodbye.